This is my 79 Trans Am. I just want to go over a few things I've modified for my own records and for anybody else wants to do these things. First, I want to talk about the frame, how I welded up all the seams throughout the car, everywhere it needed to be welded to make it more rigid. We reinforced the bolt holes. Here, you can see where I took another washer and put over it. You can tell where the bolts have been slowly over the last 35 years have been pulled in, and you can almost see the indentation of the bolt head in the frame itself on both sides. Not just the fronts, but also the rears were done, both sides. Here and the other one reinforced. Motor mounts were actually welded in. Motor was put in place and welded in. There's another brace that's right here. It's a flat bar that we welded in. It comes down here. It's kind of an L-shaped and goes all the way around to help stiffen this up. Also, these are wheel studs that we added in. The knurl was the same thickness as the plate here, so it's actually a lot stiffer. It was a pain in the butt to weld the hammer in. It's pretty stiff. We'll have a G-brace that goes from here up. The G-brace is the reason I add this plate here in on both sides, just to keep that, from wanting more sturdiness from here all the way up to the top whenever I finally get the G-brace in. The end links here, these were actually the nuts that the insert was there. I cut them out. I drilled them out. Sorry, I'm making everybody sick. I drilled them out and added a plate with nuts on the other side. So there's actually, when I cut the holes here out, grease all over myself. I welded a plate with nuts on the other side, and these actually go into the nuts that are on the other side. So there's no way it's going to pull through now. I heard a lot of people complain, or I've heard that they will actually pull the threads out of the frame itself that way. Well, now it's going to be damn near impossible to do it. Moving on. I got making these. I'm not fully done with this yet. They're just mocked in place, so I start rolling the car around. So I wanted something a little stiffer on the end links on the sway bar. I made the it's going to be a T56 trans, and maybe we get a light because that's hard to see. Alright, so I basically boxed this in and put it in place and welded the plate on, and then I welded the plate around it, so because I didn't want any rubber seals or anything to be open from out in the engine bay back inside. These holes here will be filled in later, wire harness and shit like that. I will make a bracket for this. I just have to determine whether or not I want it to sit on this side or over here on the other side of this thing. I just want it easily accessed, but still out of the way. Sometimes that's a lot to ask for, but when you want to customize it yourself, you do it either way you want. So that's where the slave cylinder comes in. I welded some grounding lugs on the car. I got one here. I got one here, and then I have basically 4 more back there. At the end of this frame, there's another one, and then I've made subframe connectors. Get that out real fast. show y'all. Where that? This one's still covered up. I take. There's one right there. Still got the tape on it when I painted the underneath here. This is actually a U-pole right, lining for like truck beds and stuff. It's really nice. Turned out really well. I was happy with it. Redid all the seams. Here, just put some tape down. Got some seam sealer. Let's see, brush on seam sealer from Eastwood. Gray. And Kara's painting right over it. Took out the firewall, or the AC that was on the firewall. So, you know, put a plate on there, welded it in. I had to fix the Crossmember, which I'm going to shine a light on it, but you won't be able to tell any difference, because all I did was shorten it up. Should have just been carrying this down like that. As you can tell, you can't even tell. Just shortened it up in the middle. I mean, you might be able to see the weld across the center of it. Had shorted 1.5 inches, and then moved it back 6 inches. That's about it. And then bolted right up. Went really fine. Ended up doing the trans tunnel. Put the trans tunnel in, cutting a hole for it, stuff. So, let's see. And then one thing is, it's hard to see, but there's actually a plate here, 2 of them. It's all the way across. It's underneath and above. And it's welded all the way across and all the way underneath the bottom side of it. To help strengthen that firewall for when I have a Jeep race on there, I don't have to worry about it, because I mean, some of these cars that's a thin metal, especially the later year ones. From what I understand, you know, the gauge on it gets smaller and smaller. And then I practice my skills at, yeah, it's not very good, but I try to smooth this out as best as possible. With some not primer, but Bondo. Try my hand Bondo. So, the suspension, it's got the upper control arms from Pro Touring F-Body with the tall ball joint. Because it gives a better geometry on the tires. The bottom one is just a stock, but as you can tell here, you can't even tell. I've welded up the bottom because there's really no benefits in a lower control arm, because they keep the same geometry. Oh, you can see it now. Anyway, I welded up the whole thing. It's pretty much so smooth. I got a hole there for the lower control arm ball joint. Those things, I can tell you now, they're heavy duty, and if I hit something with it, I feel bad for it. It's going to take them out. Like I said, I also replaced the upper control arm studs with ARP studs, and then this steering column is actually from a Jeep, a square body Jeep, like mid-90s Jeep. It telescopes, and it had the ends that I was wanting, not the rag joints, but it's got them both ends. It was kind of cleaner, right? The one thing I had to do was modify the top end. I just sat out here for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes grinding it. It's aluminum, so it didn't come out. You know, it wasn't hard to get it to come out, but. And then I had this piece right here. I'll focus on that. This piece right here, I just had to notch it so this bolt would pass through, because the original bolt goes through the center of it, and this one goes through the side. So I had to relieve it a little bit on the top, but then I had to hollow it out more so this would fit inside. I don't know if you can see it, but it barely, I mean, it barely comes right to the end of that thing. So I was happy about that. It's all the suspension. Brakes, as you can tell, I got a hydro booster out of a, I want to say it's a mid to early 2000s van. Right. And all I did was took the original booster that was on here because it was already blown. I just drilled out the rivets through the back of here, and this plate come off. This plate here. And it bolted right up to the original plate that was with this hydro booster. So I didn't do anything other than that, modify it. Once I got the how thick this was, I could pull off the measure how long the pole was from the back of this plate to the pedal, measured it out, and I got the same. I modified the pole, the rod that's behind here, the same length to the brake pedal, so it's the same. Got aftermarket hoses for the high pressure. I got just regular hoses for the low pressure. This is actually a Corvette, or not Corvette, Camaro, 4th gen Camaro, master cylinder. It's the original proportioning valve, because this car originally came with 4-wheel disc, and so did the 4th gen. So I'll see how that works out at first. If not, I have a Wildwood proportional valve that has where I can control it. And then let's see, the brakes down here on this side is the 13.3 rotors, basically the Z51 Corvette brakes, if you're looking them up. The hub comes from Custom Performance Work, big brake kit, and I got mine. You can either get it for the Corvette or you can get it for the Camaro. I got it for the Corvette. I'm pretty sure there's a difference in where the holes are mounted from one to the other, but I got the Corvette, and I used the well, I ordered a Z51 abutment which holds the brake on. You can't even see this one, but this part right here. Up here, basically a button. This is an abutment. This is another Camaro abutment, but the damn thing looks exactly like this, except for the bolt holes are different, and there's some grinding out in here to accommodate the largest size brake rotor. Other than that, there was no other modifications. The Camaro one went right on, and I was able to use a bigger brake rotor, which you can see. Get this light. Well, you can be able to see, but yeah, I'm not gonna do this. But I mean, there's probably an 1/8 of an inch room between the rim and the top of the brake caliper. The kit also comes with these steel braided lines, right? Was very nice. They're also covered in a clear plastic, I guess, to keep them clean, which I thought was very nice. I bought when I got the rotors for this, I got them on eBay. They had the fronts with brake pads and the rears with brake pads as a kit, which I went ahead and bought that, which is 13.3 the fronts, 13s in the rears. The rears have I'd already converted the rear end brakes over to 4th gen Camaro rear end. I already did the whole swap on that, but it was a 12-inch rotor, and then I modified it for the Corvette. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm just afraid it's going to lock up all the time. Get the proportions out. And then the last thing I've done here Was this a 99 windshield wiper, or 99 Silverado windshield wiper? They got to work with my sliding I already have another video of it, but where it pulses as it goes across here, it'll pulse with the with this. I didn't have to use a knob or modify it anyway, so I'll keep the original look to the car. I've already checked it out. It all works. So that's just about everything I've done to the car so far. Right. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me back with a message. Right. Thanks for watching.